from the News Channel 5 network. This is OpenLine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to OpenLine. Glad you are with us tonight. Interesting discussion. We are talking about some of the new regulations that have been passed by the Metro Council and that are being put on the transpotainment industry. That is pedal taverns, that is those party buses downtown. Of course, those represent kind of a complicated relationship that the city of Nashville has with the tourism industry. And tonight we're going to be hearing from an owner of one of those businesses about the impact of these regulations. What impact does it have on employees? What impact does it have on potentially tourism and on the business that he is trying to operate? So an interesting discussion. Happy to have with us Emmit Martin. He is the owner of Sprocket Rocket, right? Is that right, Emmit?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Great. Thank you for being with us via Zoom. All of our guests are on stills via Zoom, and thank you for coming on. All right.
Well,
before I dive into the regulations and everything, I want to define Sprocket Rocket and what we're talking about. Is that a pedal tavern? What is it? What is it you own? What is it you do?
Yep. So Sprocket Rocket, we have 9 pedal carriages, otherwise known as pedal taverns. They're all electric assist vehicles, and they're primarily powered by
They're primarily powered by people, right? This is where they sit there and pedal and they drink. They're served, I guess, beer, right?
Sure. Yep. Exactly. And then Sprocket Rocket has 2 party trucks also, but our main focus is the party bikes. I call them party bikes. Pedal tavern, party bike, yeah.
Okay, and now, so new regulations have been passed by the Metro Council. How does that impact what you do? How does that impact party bikes, pedal taverns, whatever you want to call them?
Well, as of right now, they have taken the alcohol away. So that has impacted our business greatly because people, when they come here, they want to get on the bikes, they want to pedal, and they also want to drink. So we've lost a lot of business this month.
So they took the alcohol away, and that began when? When did that happen?
December 1st. They took it away from everybody unless your vehicle is enclosed. So some of the larger buses and tractor operators, they went and enclosed their vehicles, but the pedal carriages cannot be enclosed because that's just the danger. So we wouldn't do that.
So what we're talking about, so like a large party bus, they're things like what? Hot tub, tractor pulls, they're hot tub trucks, all kinds of stuff down there that people have all kinds of opinions about. But could you enclose that? I mean, you could enclose, I guess, some of that stuff and still be able to serve alcohol.
Safely, only the buses, I feel, can safely enclose, and some of the tractors. The hot tub is already gone. They got rid of them via a permit. They said they had to have a pool permit. So the hot tub has disappeared. So there are just, to my knowledge, tractors, buses, and pedal carriages.
And so, all right, this impacts you. Right now, these pedal carriages, pedal taverns cannot serve alcohol because they don't have walls. They're not enclosed.
Exactly.
What would you like to see happen? Is there a chance that will change, and what would you like to see happen?
Well, we are being told by Freddie O'Connell, who is, District 19 council person. He's the one who brought the original bill to the council, and he is bringing another amendment to the bill that allows us to get a beer permit from the beer board, and that we can only serve beer, no hard liquor, but just beer. So it passed on the 2nd reading, and it's going to go up for the 3rd reading the next council meeting, which is in a couple weeks.
Now, were you serving hard liquor before? Could you get hard liquor and pedal before, or has it always just been beer?
Sometimes, but mostly it's just beer.
And how long have you been operating? How long have you been doing this? I feel like I've seen these pedal taverns for a while now, pedal carriages. How long have you been doing this in Nashville?
So the industry started with a company called Nashville Pedal Tavern. They started Man, they started back in like 2005. They're a great company. And they really brought this industry to Nashville. I started in 2014. So we've been operating, and we worked with the city council back in 2014 to actually draft the ordinance that we're under. So we drafted it. We had lengthy discussions about the rules and how to operate. And so we've been operating under regulations as pedal carriages for the last 6-7 years.
And what do the new regulations, let's say they don't change. If it says you cannot serve alcohol unless you have walls, what does that do for you, and what does it do for your employees?
Kills it. No question about it. It will eliminate everything. We do over 100,000 people a year, just my company alone. We get busier and busier every year. I have over 35 employees. I would say it would kill it. We've already, once the new regulations were announced, we got calls from all over the United States with questions and cancellations. So it would definitely kill it. So we're really hoping that, they stick to their word and that they're going to bring the beer permit back to us.
Now, I believe in July, it was over the summer, there was a 22-year-old that fell off a party bus and was badly injured. And that has been used as one of the reasons, obviously these have been discussed for a long time, that was used as one of the reasons we need to do something here. One person described it as the wild, wild west out there with no regulation. How when you hear that, and when you look back, I'm sure you're aware of what happened. It wasn't on a pedal tavern, but what happened with this 22-year-old over the summer, what do you think the answer is?
Well, absolutely regulations, because the reason why that was allowed to happen is because the vehicles, the motor vehicles, which consist of the tractors and the buses and the hot tub and whatever other crazy contraption that somebody wants to think of, it was the Wild Wild West because they fell under no rules. And the city absolutely 1,000% needed to put regulations in. The downside to that was the pedal carriages, who have been regulated for the past 6 or 7 years, we got swept under the rug with that. And we've been doing the right thing this entire time. So I think that they're doing the right thing by bringing alcohol back to us, because we've been doing the right thing since we came up with the ordinance back in 2014. What
if there are people that are watching that say, boy, those pedal taverns, they're kind of loud, and I don't know if I care for them that much, and I'm glad they're regulated, and I'm not too worried if they go away. What do you say to people that are watching that would feel that way?
Well, thank you for asking, because that's a really good question. We are no different than any other business in that we have employees. Everybody's local. If you live in town and you don't want to see the vehicles, or you don't want to be around them, it's a very simple answer. Don't go downtown, because we don't go to neighborhoods. We don't go anywhere that there's already not the party atmosphere going. And with the Convention Bureau, they've been pushing to bring large events here. They've been pushing to make Music City a party city. And even Butch Spirited himself said downtown is like a Disneyland for everybody. So we keep it downtown. We keep everything under control. We have rules, and we employ a lot of people. And just like any other thing that someone doesn't like, they don't have to go to a restaurant or a bar or a business that they don't like.
Absolutely, sure. And I think there's some people that think, okay, this is unique to Nashville. The first time I ever saw it was in Nashville, but then you travel around, you see them in other cities. Did Nashville start this, or did it come? Did this business come from other cities to Nashville?
So the Nashville, the pedal tavern started in August, I think. And then they started, that company is a worldwide company, and they have franchises in other cities, and they basically spread out in other cities. So they were way ahead of their time on bringing it to Nashville.
So it didn't start in Nashville. And
No.
again, before I start taking calls, and we have a few calls, and if you want to call in, there's the number 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. How likely do you think it is that the rules will change and that you will not be put out of business? You said the councilman who passed this initial round of kind of reforms or regulations is willing to work with you guys. I mean, do you think the rules are going to change and allow you to stay in business?
Yes. We've had lengthy discussions, and that they are very open about bringing alcohol back to us. The vehicles are not going to get alcohol until, I think, April, when they fall under the TLC permit regulations. But as of right now, we are without alcohol.
And again, okay, so when you say the vehicles, I think people were shocked, maybe not shocked, but they were interested. It certainly got their attention when they started seeing pedal taverns. They're like, well, that's interesting. I mean, they're drinking alcohol and pedaling. I don't know if I'd want to do that, but wow, that's very interesting. And they seem really happy. You know, you hear the music, they seem really happy. Then you have these crazy things. You have hot tubs, and you have tractor pulls, and you have these party on wheel things. I mean, all over the city, things that maybe I shouldn't even say. I mean, all kinds of crazy stuff going on down there. And people are like, we got to do something. And so do you feel like when they revise things and allow alcohol for you guys, will all of that other stuff come back?
So we are very, when I say we, I mean the operators that have been down here that are doing things the right way, doing things legitimately. We are very happy about regulations, because the bad actors are making it worse for the good actors. It's just like if you had a bar that was continually serving underage people, or that was continually being a public nuisance, you wouldn't shut down every bar because they're all called bars. You would go into that one establishment and you would penalize and shut down that establishment. And that's what they needed to do here. That the vehicle that you spoke about with the 22-year-old, that was a random bus. We hadn't ever seen that bus. He might have been out there maybe a week or two. So clearly, when you have people that are just showing up with a vehicle saying, hey, everybody, come on here, you're going to have accidents like that. But when you have professional operators who have a lot on the line, who are insured, who have a lot of money invested, who have employees, you're not going to get that kind of stuff. If you look at the industry as a whole, there are rarely any accidents, rarely. And you're talking about, I alone have 9 vehicles or 9 pedal carriages plus 2 trucks. So if you add all the other companies and how many rides that we do over 72 rides on a Saturday, every Saturday from March until November. So if you count up the amount of rides that we do, it is a very small amount of incidences that from a safety standpoint. So we're a very safe industry.
And do you feel like if these rules are reformed, the bad actors will still be kept out? Or will it, if they're reformed, will it allow bad actors back in?
Well, I don't know how they're going to choose who they give permits to. And it's going to come down to how the TLC decides to give permits to.
And that's the Transportation Licensing Commission, just so we understand.
Yes.
When you say that's the Metro Transportation Licensing Commission, they will have to give out a permit, is that right?
Yes. So right now, the pedal tavern and us, all the pedal carriages are all under the TLC. We have certain insurance requirements. We have certain times we can be on the road. We have a whole ordinance based around keeping us in line, if you will. But a good company, a good operator doesn't need an ordinance to operate correctly. They just need to have some business sense and some morals, and don't go out and do things that are going to get you shut down or sued. There's many reasons for people to do their business right. When there's no regulations, I mean, 2 years ago, there was a trailer showed up. I haven't seen them in a year, but there was some guys with a trailer in a pickup truck that had people on the back of the trailer, like just a flatbed trailer. You had a guy who was out there earlier this year on a pontoon boat, literally a pontoon boat on a trailer.
I think I saw that. Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy, and it's being pulled by a Cadillac Escalade. Everything about that situation was wrong. And that's when the city, I believe, saw that in the hot tub and said, okay, enough's enough. We're going to get all these guys out of here. But we're all not bad actors. And I hope that when they come to the table and they decide who they're going to give permits to, that they look at the company and see if they're legitimate, and also keep the number of permits low, because nobody wants too many vehicles out there.
Interesting. Okay, Mike and others, if you're on the line, hold on. I will take your call. We're going to take a break. But again, there's the number if you want to call in, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. We'll take a break. Be back right after this.